Our next guest, and first guest of the day for that matter, was the 92nd pick in the 1993 National Football League draft, former NFL and BYU defensive back plus motivator extraordinaire Derwin Gray on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Derwin, it's nice to have you back again.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always good to be with you guys.
You got it. Emotionally, what has this BYU football season been like for you watching from North Carolina?
You know, it reminds me of when I was in middle school and high school, and I would watch late-night ESPN games in San Antonio, Texas as a high school kid, and I would see Robbie Bosco and Steve Young and all these guys in these incredible games. Of course, back then they were throwing the ball all over the place. Now we're running the ball all over the place, but it's typical BYU. I mean, it's what makes BYU the brand that it is. You're going to get an exciting game that you don't know how it's going to unfold, but you know it's going to be close at the end. So it's been some late nights. I've had to drink a lot of coffee to preach on Sunday, but staying up late's been worth it.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. One of the questions we were going to ask you, would you be on the East Coast? Are you getting a lot of sleep? But I'm like, man, he's a pastor, man. He's working on his sermons, so he should be fine.
Well, typically what I do is I like to be prepared in advance, and so if I'm working on my sermon Saturday night, then I haven't done what I needed to do throughout the week. So, yeah. But so we stay up late, and I'll nod off and wake back up. And that last Boise State game was, I was really proud of the way Kalani and the staff and the team leaders weathered that early storm, because that could have been a 70-0 game. But before you know it, there's a couple plays that are made. Warner makes an incredible interception. I think that was one of the great interception returns for a touchdown in BYU history. What
Absolutely.
Athletic move, powerful. So that kind of stuff is fun. I'm really enjoying this team.
Why do you feel like this new coaching staff, led by head coach Kalani Sitake, is the right fit for BYU at this time?
Yeah, there are different seasons to programs. And I think with Coach Kalani, when you look at him culturally, when you look at him as a player, when you look at his experiences, and you look at the staff that he's built, the team will inevitably take on the characteristic of the coach. And I think that if Kalani could actually play, he would, And so he has brought a level of authenticity, a level of how do we reach back into the past of the Lavelle era where it's not as corporate but more relational. But then how do we move forward in 2016 where you got memes and Twitter and video and up-to-date news and all this other stuff? And I think that he's been able to do that. And in my interactions with him, I've been just really, really impressed with what he's trying to build there culturally, and understanding the unique challenges that BYU has that UCLA doesn't have, that Alabama does not have. BYU has a unique challenge with recruiting, yet he's still able to develop a team that's competitive, and that's just a few points away from being undefeated.
Derwin, what do you expect from BYU over these last 4 games of the regular season? The first 4 games or first half of the season, very tough and challenging. As a player, it's kind of sad to say this, but it's a lot easier schedule, kind of some cupcakes moving forward. But what do you expect the last 4 games? Yeah,
I expect them to win some games. I expect them to go 8-4. I expect them to have some victories where they win by 21 points to 14 points. I don't expect the games to be close. Now, all of that could just be a fairy tale if the team underestimates the quality of their opponents, because football is such now with training and nutrition that there is a lot of parity. So if you don't come to play every game like you're playing the Michigan States or the UCLAs or Arizonas, if you don't come with that type of mindset, you can get beat, as we've seen with how do you give up 53 points to Toledo but hold Michigan State to, what, 10?
Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah, 14.
And so, and so you have to be prepared to play. Like, you always respect your opponent and expect them to bring their best. And so they have an opportunity to really, really do something special by going 8-4.
Let's put you in the locker room right now. We transport you to Provo, Utah, and you're in the team room. What would your message to this BYU team be after the roller coaster ride they have been on this season, including 7 of the 8 games being determined by 1 possession?
Yeah, this would be my message, is if you take care to dig your roots deep, you'll have fruit to enjoy. So take care of the root and enjoy the fruit. And what I mean by that is do the things that equates to winning. Winning will take care of itself. Do the things that equates to winning. Number 1, your preparation, mentally and physically and emotionally. Number 2, the will to win. Winning is believing that you can win, and it's also the will to win. And so focus on the root and enjoy the fruit. If you try to focus on the fruit with no root, then you're in trouble.
Man, I was trying to find me a pen right now. I was trying to write that down, but I could just catch the replay later on after the show is over. Derwin, let's talk about Kai Nakua. He's one of 16 semifinalists for the Jim Thorpe Award, given to the nation's best defensive back. What does Kai do that impresses you the most?
You know what? First, let me just say I'm like elated and ecstatic. I actually talked to him on the phone before the Boise State game, and so for me, I think of Kyle Morrell as the best. Some say I'm right there along with him, and I think we have to scoot over for Kai now. And I think what Kai is able to do is Kai has a nose for the ball. He has incredible hands, and he has a knack for making big plays. And so as a free safety, man, I just groove on that. I think he's at 13 career interceptions. He's tied Tom Homo. It's time to pass him up. I'm at 14. It's time to tie and pass me up. And also, if I may be mistaken, but I think I'm the last defensive back to be drafted out of BYU. And that was like in 1993, man. I mean, that's before Google. So it's time. It is. I mean, we didn't even have the internet at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for that streak to end and for Kai to start a new one. But I really, really enjoy the way he plays. I really enjoy his nose for the ball. And so I expect him to continue what he's doing, and hopefully he'll have a great NFL career.
High praise for Kai Nakua from a former NFL guy in the 92nd pick in the 93 draft, Derwin Gray. It's always great to talk to you, Dewey, and we know what BYU means to you, and I hope you know what you mean to BYU Sports Nation, my friend.
Well, thank you. You guys are awesome, and I hope to chat with you guys again soon.
Get some sleep, my friend, if you can, with these late-night games.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
You got it. Derwin Gray on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.